Yeah, without further ado, I think we should bring Phil on, our boy.
Oh, he's here. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, now joined by Toronto FC eSports Pro Phil Balke, currently in the qualifying process for eMLS League Series 1. It's a game day for you, so thanks so much for talking to us.
Yeah, no worries. I appreciate you guys for having me on here.
Did we get it right, Phil Balke?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nailed it.
Nice.
Well, we'll certainly get into qualifying soon, but give us your origin story here. How did you end up being Toronto FC's first esports athlete?
It was in FIFA 17 where I qualified for the World Cup. Like back then, there was like no eMLS or anything. It was only the FIFA EA major events, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember coming back after it placed like top 4 in the World Cup and saying, "Man, I wish I could sign for TFC. Like, I wonder if the MLS is going to do a league, right?" And then fast forward before FIFA 18 started, I got an email from MLSE saying that they were willing to get into the eMLS and that the eMLS is going to be a league for MLS, right? And honestly, fast forward 3 years later and I'm still here and I love it. I love representing the Reds, internationally. Even when I go to EA major events, everyone doesn't know who Toronto FC is. So, putting Toronto on like the map.
For sure. He is one of our own, the very own Phil B94. He gets hooked up with the free Toronto FC swag. Honestly, he's living the dream of like what all of us want to do. He was literally representing Toronto FC. I mean, come on. But
that
Phil, you're a little
so sick. It's like red and black.
You're a little humble there, and about your beginnings there, and you're coming up. I understand that you weren't born in Canada, right?
Yeah, no, I was born in Iraq. Actually, immigrated to Canada around 2003.
Right, and when you were at Iraq, how did you discover, that you were good at playing FIFA? Like, how does that come about?
Honestly, I think it went back to like when my uncle and my dad would because back then we didn't have like consoles or anything like other states in Canada had consoles. Kids grew up having, don't even know what consoles were back in the day, like PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say PlayStation 2, right?
Yeah,
we didn't have that back then. We would just rent it because it was so expensive. So when I came here, I ended up getting what was that? It was the original Xbox. First Christmas in Canada, I ended up getting the original Xbox. And ever since then, I've been so hooked into like gaming, just in general.
So how did you discover like you were better than everyone else?
Man, I don't know. I think that's just like a natural thing. Even when I play with my friends, they're like, "We didn't know you were this good," and I'm like. Yeah, I guess like I don't know I was this good either until FIFA 17 when I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna take it serious. EA is gonna do a bunch of events and see where it takes me.
Is it just FIFA or are we talking other games that you have thumbs at?
No, I'm honestly like pretty good at 2K as well.
Oh, okay, Raptors Uprising, Shane Talbot. I know you're probably watching out there. Come on, I know you have a draft spot. Let's get Phil going.
But not hockey. You're not.
No, I did play a bunch of NHL as well. I think NHL had the EA Sports Hockey League.
Oh yeah,
you can play.
That.
It's like a pro clubs type of thing. So I played that with a bunch of my buddies as well.
Yeah, right on.
Do you play soccer? Like, do you?
Yeah. I actually played in League One for quite a bit before I got injured.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So he's got a touch.
Yeah. I've never played. So do you think that makes you better at FIFA if you've actually kicked the ball in earnest in real life outside?
I would say to a certain extent because obviously you need the IQ when you're competing at a high level. And I feel like having that soccer background kind of helps you a bit. But at the same time, I think it has to do a lot with like your reactions and stuff like that, and how good you can be on the sticks as well as having the soccer IQ.
How quickly you can think.
Just playing all the other sports games kind of help as well. I know athletes talk often about especially coming up, they played multiple sports before specializing in one. Is there little things you get out of playing an NHL or a 2K that maybe help you in FIFA?
See the thing about like FIFA, like Ultimate Team, is like you're alone. You're controlling 11 players. Where in like when you're playing NHL, EA Sports Hockey League, it's you and four other buddies. Or same with 2K.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's you controlling the whole team, where you don't have that kind of team camaraderie and team aspect going into the game, stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
it is very different then.
Yeah,
Like playing Call of Duty or Fortnite really helps.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Phil, you're one of Canada's best FIFA players, Red Bull athlete.
There's that Red Bull connection
Of
again.
course,
Yeah,
yeah,
Red
there
Bull.
you go. Of course, you're representing Toronto FC in the eMLS, but that takes a lot of commitment, doesn't it? Like, can you take us through one of your average sort of days? What
I
goes down?
usually, oh man, honestly, just to my average days, usually, wake up, eat breakfast, come to my room, play some, friendlies with other professional players, not just in the eMLS, because there's crazy amount of talent in North America just in general that aren't in eMLS. Practice against them. Very good friends with the Chicago player as well. He represents Chicago Fire, so I play friendly with him a lot, and it's pretty much my day.
How many games do you play like a day?
Oh man, I want to say at least 30. 30. Yeah, at least like 30 to 40 days.
Key.
Yeah.
Consistency is key. All right, Phil, let's talk a little AMLS. In the past couple of years, you've done fairly well. I think last season in particular, you finished top 8 in each of the 3 events: League Series 1, League Series 2, and of course, the eMLS Cup. But you haven't quite got over that hump, eh? You haven't quite got to that championship that, of course, obviously you want.
There's
But
that Red
you're
Bull
always so
connection again.
consistent. How is that? How is that changing this year? Because I feel like you're on the come up here. You've been highly rated. I think you're number 1. You're tied for first in North American Global Series there at the points. How is that changing this year? Like, do you change your mentality going into the competition, or what's different?
Yeah, honestly, like me and Shane always talk about this. Like we're always like top 8, finishing semifinals, the eMLS Cup. Coming up short, winning the actual thing. And I've honestly like dedicated a lot, the past couple of years playing, and I just want to win something. Especially it would mean a lot to win like the eMLS Cup. Because when I first signed, I was gonna say like I said in one of the interviews, like I want to bring back the eMLS Cup to Toronto, and that's when Toronto FC ended up beating Seattle in the finals in Toronto. Like that's when the league first started. So they're saying like, "Oh, do you think you'll win it?" And I'm like, honestly, like I hope so.
But every year you're a contender. I mean, if you read all the articles on the MLS and MLSsoccer.com, they have you up there as one of the potential dark horses, or even sometimes even the favorites to go far in that competition. Your consistency has been so key. How do you do that? Like day in, like competition in, competition out. You're one of the few on the scene that can do that.
Yeah, honestly, it goes back to like how much time you put in. That's the biggest thing with FIFA is like the more time you put in, the greater you'll be at the game. And honestly, with being ranked as like a favorite for eMLS, it's like I expect that just because of what I've done in the previous years for North America, FIFA esports.
For sure, bro. Talk your
the whole
talk,
world,
man.
right?
Talk your talk. Let's go.
Live your truth. Yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like that's why they regard me as one of the favorites. And honestly, like I know myself, like I'm up there with the top guys. Like I can beat them on like any day. It's just
I'm sure you have in like offline or like not official competitions too all the time. I'm sure.
Of course. Like even like Diddy, like he's always ranked like first or second. In like outside of eMLS, I've beaten him like a few times in like EA majors. So it's like I know I have that in me. To beat these guys. It's just like it's just the bounces you get that day that go your way or go against you.
Yeah,
and especially with the last eMLS Cup where it was online, it wasn't like how they usually do it when it's like in person. Studio. So you have to play with the connection, depending on where the guy lives. We're pretty far away from everybody else, right? The closest club would be Montreal. So
yeah, you played someone in Brazil last year, didn't you?
Yeah, the Atlanta United player was he couldn't travel to the States because of all the travel restrictions.
Of course.
So we had to play me from Toronto to where he was in Brazil. And that wasn't fun.
That's all right. You'll be navigating those challenges though again this season. Yeah, go ahead, Mitch.
Well, yeah, you just don't think about, the like obviously
Everything. Yeah.
It honestly does. And I feel like even though we were playing on, you know, 100 ping, I was still winning that game, and then he ended up tying it in the 90th, and I ended up losing in penalties.
So close,
so, like,
such a heartbreaker.
So it's like, you know, when I look back at those type of things, and I'm like, you know, if I can just conquer that, you know, 2 minutes in game time where, you know, I can see out the game, you know, there I am to the conference finals, one step closer to the eMLS Cup final. So,
and I think that's what it's all about, right? It's getting stronger, it's getting better, and it's, you know, what you can take away and what you can use to improve. And it's great that you have those experiences, even though obviously you'd rather be on the other end of things. And, you know, this season, Phil, we're rooting for you, buddy, because a couple massive games.
I appreciate it.
Oh man, I have so many questions. I'll start with the one I just wrote down. Does EA call you guys about what they're planning to update on a year-by-year basis and get your input? Do you ever get any of the EA programmers asking you, you know, specific techie questions?
No, they usually don't. I know they handpick some of the pros that they contact. I certainly don't know any people from North America that have been contacted, you know, to get like a review back from the game. I know when the beta rolls out, there's like a forum that comes out, and, you know, you can type on the forum, say what you want, but usually sometimes they don't even necessarily.
Yeah,
you know?
if you're watching this, come on, you reach out to your boy Phil. I'm sure he has a bunch to say about FIFA.
Yeah, I mean,
I just honestly, you know what it is? I feel like FIFA is like one of those game titles where it's so hard to please the casual and the pro. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
For sure.
Mike, I don't know if you know you've played FIFA before, but
of course,
you know, like, it's so hard to please a casual and a pro at the same time. You know, you obviously need to. Majority of the your sellers are like casual players. You know, there's
FIFA Ultimate Team too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
a lot of people are into the FIFA Ultimate Team.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm gonna
it's just hard to please both worlds, and I think that's what they struggle with.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna flip my question order then. And I'm going to read it verbatim. FIFA keeps introducing no game modes. Easily the most divisive has been FIFA Ultimate Team, and also possibly the most successful. What is your opinion on FIFA Ultimate Team? Is it good for the game? Good for EA Sports, or is it going down a dark path?
I bet you didn't expect that question, Phil.
Yeah, no, that's a tough one, because I do think for EA as the company, I feel like Ultimate Team is like their best seller. Like that's you know, where they make a huge.
You don't have to whisper it, Phil. It's not a secret.
They're not asking you for input anyway. So.
Yeah, I honestly feel like it honestly is like Ultimate Team is like taking next big steps each year. You know, it's either like introducing new legends into the game or adding new game modes into the game. I know this year they added a 2v2 aspect where, you know, if me and you have an ultimate team, we could play together versus two other people that have two ultimate teams. So it's like they're making big steps, and it's like nice to see, but sometimes when the gameplay doesn't correlate with the game, it's kind of tough.
Frustrating. It's frustrating.
It's I think that's like I've spent 40 hours just getting chemistry upgrades. You know, having played a single match of FIFA, like nobody's football, and I'm just sitting there like figuring out how to get more coins. And then it's 5 hours later, and I haven't played a single actual game of FIFA. So
you know, when I stopped playing Ultimate Team, Jeff, I was actually at an event with Phil, I think last year. Or the year before all of this COVID thing. And, you know, I spent 6 months, you know, building up my Ultimate Team, and it was pretty good, I thought. And I pull up my phone, I'm going to show this guy my Ultimate Team, and he literally laughs me off. Like, one of his players is more expensive than my entire team. And as soon as I saw that, after I put 6 months of time into this, I was like, okay, enough with Ultimate Team.
Well, I don't understand the marketplace. Like, why is one Fabregas like 600 FIFA coins and the other one like 12,000 FIFA coins? I don't get it. It's like it's collecting
overall rating, Jeff. You got to get the better card. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, my second question. What are some pro tips that you would give any noob to help them slay at FIFA? If you just off the top of your head. And why is it not mashing the speed up button on the?
So do you want like gameplay tips or like just like in general?
I want to be better, so just tell me what I need to do.
Like, okay, what I want to know, but before you get into what first thing you do, like when I go into menu, I'll press pause and I'll change a few settings. What are some of those settings that you change?
Honestly, I have like I don't even pause it and do that. I have it rearranged before the game even starts. So if you go to your team, you can actually set up to 4 formations that you can change to in a click of a D-pad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's like the ultra defensive, attacking, and ultra attacking, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
So you can set up your custom tactics. I know there's like, you can go on YouTube and type in, FIFA 21 custom tactics, and there's like a bunch of pros that, have released their actual tactics that they have used, in qualifying to events or even, foot champions, which, weekend league, whatever it is. It's like the 30 games you play throughout the weekend type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And to get better, I think honestly, it's a lot of time consuming. You need to like actually grind the game and learn the overpowered type of mechanics that are added, every year. I know this year they did like so you can chain a skill move and then you can like cancel the skill move midway, right? By holding the both triggers. So like halfway through the skill move, you can
change direction.
Yeah, you can change direction, or even you can cancel the skill move and your guy would stand still. I think that was like a big new feature they did. And they also added a one where you kind of like kick the ball forward and run around the defender. It's called the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have been complaining about this on Twitter recently, actually, and I think EA might patch it. So, but
try and take advantage of it while you can, guys.
Yeah. Honestly, that's the thing. Like all these moves that are added in every year, people complain about all the time, and it's just, I feel like for the casual, it's hard to like adapt to these moves because you have to do them in certain situations.
So
yeah.
What are these, like Hadoukens in Street Fighter? Like,
honestly, man, to take to the next level, to take yourself to the next level. Even if you want to be like, you're an average FIFA player, you want to be an above average FIFA player. You don't want to be a pro. You don't want to, you don't have time to play as a pro. You can, of course, you honestly just like, you need to do a couple things, tweak some stuff in your gameplay, skill moves as well. That's a big thing. Adding skill moves to your game is huge. You can't be predictable every time you go down the field.
You got Jeff typing this down frantically.
I found that slowing the game down, like not just like rushing for a cross, really helps, especially when I'm playing against like non-computer players. Right? If I just bomb the flanks, they're going to destroy me. I'm going to get torched.
Yeah, that's another big thing to how I play. Actually, I don't really like attack fast.
No, I've noticed that when I've watched you play. Yeah.
I usually like. Yeah, the more you put the game into your own tempo, like the more results you'll see. Like the more you'll control the game, the better the outcome will come.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but would you say like defense is almost more important than it is offense? Because a lot of people, when they see soccer, they like to dribble and whatnot. But how important is it defending in FIFA?
Oh man, honestly, defending is super important, but I think it goes to equal with attack. Because you can defend for say 90 minutes, and if the game is tied, you need the points, especially with eMLS. Like a lot of games where it's only a best out of 1 in the league series, like you need to take advantage and score. I feel like scoring early is huge. Scoring the first goal is like huge because you can actually control the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Got a question from Eric G. Phil, what is your favorite game mode?
Heard you guys have a good squad going there, Phil. You and the TSC content team.
Yeah, man. We actually we're pretty good. Not gonna lie. I didn't, when I first played with them, I didn't expect them to be good. I obviously didn't expect them to be.
He's just saying that because you're listening, Eric.
Yeah.
No, and there's times where I'm on the mic with them and I'm just like, Eric, like don't do that, man. He'll do like a random skill move, like lose the ball, and I'm like, Eric, what are you doing? Or even Adam, like Adam, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Even him, he'll do like the most random stuff, and I'll be like, Adam, what are you doing, man? Like, just stop it.
Gotta pull these kids back.
Play with me. I'm all studs out tackle.
It's even funny. Like when we start losing a game, they take it serious and they end up smashing the other team. Well, mostly it's just fun at games. Obviously, don't expect those guys to be amazing
Yeah.
at the game.
For
right?
sure. That's good. Good banter, and it's good that you have that relationship with all of them, man. And I mean, that's you're a gamer, and you get to do that with TFC. That's the perfect kind of crossover, especially for a kid growing up. They're definitely inspiring a lot of youth gamers that are coming, because you talked about it when you were growing up. You didn't have a PlayStation, or like you had to rent one out. Everyone nowadays, I swear, everyone's growing up with consoles. I have like 3. You know what I mean? So it's crazy to see how far, crazy to think how far this can go. And I really do believe this is sort of just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, tonight, or this competition you're playing for, I think there's $15,000 on the line, which is a nice pocket change, but I feel like that's going to grow even more enormously, like, in the next couple of years. Mitch, you had one last question there for Phil before we let the kid go.
I love this question.
Yeah, we have to ask this. We know you're the best FIFA player at the club, but which senior
that's Eric.
team player?
That's Eric now. We know.
Oh yeah, apparently that's Eric Jagamini. But which senior team player is best? I've heard Oso is pretty good.
Oh man, I think I've played I think it was FIFA 18 marketing day. I think I played so many of them. I played Gio. Played Oso too. I'm actually good friends with Osario's younger brother Anthony. Through real life soccer, I met him, right? And
League One there.
Yeah, so it was pretty fun. When I was playing against them, because I always told Anthony yo, if I ever play your brother, I'm gonna no mercy, no mercy. And literally, it was the 30th minute. It was 3-0, and he just didn't want to play anymore.
Oh no, Oso.
Yeah. But I think
did you play as Cavani, and did he play as sorry, I'm El Tonka. What's his name again?
Cavallini, you're thinking of.
Yeah, did you play as Cavallini?
No, we played Toronto FC versus Toronto FC when we played that day. Yeah, we didn't use any other teams, so it was pretty cool. But I played a bunch of them, but I'd say the best one, I know Marky plays a lot of Ultimate Team.
Delgado, so you guys had a pretty good run there at the event that was broadcasted during the pandemic. It was televised actually on TSN, I think it was. And that was really cool to follow. But how did that sort of, before we let you go, but how did that sort of come to fruition?
Well, you didn't answer the question. I mean, he didn't answer it in the nicest way possible, but I want an answer.
I'd say Marky Delgado. Yeah,
nice.
I'd say Marky.
Nice.
Yeah. So how was Marky the guy that represented Toronto FC in that tournament? How did that?
I honestly don't know.
You just got the MO. You just got.
Yeah, I just she told me
let's go.
They're partnering up with you with Marky, and good luck to both of you. And I'm like, yeah. And it was for a great cause. I think it was for a charity. If whoever won it, you get to choose a charity to donate that money to.
Yeah, so that's really cool too. And I see you and Marky still interact on Twitter. Yeah. So that's
that
cool.
Was when Chicharito was on the LA Galaxy team, right?
Yeah. It was there's a bunch of big names actually that played in that thing. Chicha, I think, was one of them. Don't remember the rest actually.
I only remember Chicha because he was chirping like nobody's business. And
all right, well, we'll let you go here, Phil. Thank you so much for taking the time, and obviously best of luck with qualifying. We're cheering you on.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for having me, and thank you so much for your support.
Absolutely.
Of course. Thanks, Phil.
See you guys.